A lovely volley by Jack Grealish. Here's Grealish in the penalty area. Grealish puts it on his right foot and puts it in the back of the net.
Absolutely fearless. Will want the ball in any situation. Doesn't matter who he's playing against. He wants to drive, wants to impose himself on the game.
He would be a starter for me, but it's so many to pick from. You've got Raheem, it's a good headache. Trust me, it's a very good headache.
And England have been beaten. It's a defeat, which means that they can't possibly finish top of the Nations League group, and they're eliminated from the tournament with a game to spare.
Jack Grealish was the positive of the evening. He's taken his opportunity really, really well. He's saying to Gareth Southgate, this is what I can do. You can trust me in big games.
There's no point in picking him for what he does for his club, then asking him to change.
I think he could be a key part of the team if Gareth can get the right players around him.
He can produce that little bit of magic. You turn around and say to yourself, oh, that's what England need.
I said it previously and I kind of got laughed at. He's the closest thing to Gascoigne, in my opinion.
Such a dangerous comparison, isn't it? But 08717 22 33 44. I thought he was, and I'd love to hear from Villa fans as well about exactly where, because when you watch Villa, you watch them occasionally, you don't necessarily get exactly where the best place for him to be on a pitch is. Is it a free roll? Is it coming in off the left? 08717 22 33 44. That was Troy Deeney talking about comparing him to Gaza. You can see why, right? And I'm always
you can, but Gaza was absolutely brilliant and changed so many games for England. The way he played, his strength when he had the ball at his feet. I can see the comparisons.
It's wanting the ball. It's always wanting the ball, isn't it?
But to compare him to Gaza now, I think might be a little bit premature. In an English shirt, that was his first competitive game for England, and there's no doubt about it. We've been banging the drum for a while now about Grealish. He's been absolutely fantastic, and Gareth's been reluctant to pick him. I think that's where the frustration comes in as well. But we've seen now some of the performances. He was brilliant versus Wales when he made his debut. He was brilliant versus Republic of Ireland the other day. Brilliant against Belgium. And you're right, he just always wants the ball. Always wants it, not afraid to run with the ball at his feet. And I joke about it, really, but he runs faster with the ball at his feet than he does without it. Doesn't he? He's just one of those footballers who can just breeze past the opposition.
And you can tell the respect, the respect that the opposition have.
Absolutely.
But they do not want to dive in on Jack Grealish.
But they do, and he gets fouls.
And he wins a lot of free kicks, and set pieces will be crucial, right? For England in the major
tournament. The way England are going to play with three at the back, of course they are.
So there is the question, sort of goes back to that formation, right? Which is he good enough, right, to be given that free role that you could play in a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, whereas he is ahead of two safer midfielders, a Henderson and a Rice or a Winks or whoever you want to put there, Calvin Phillips, those types of players. Is he good enough? Like does the positive nature of Grealish in a free role mean that sort of outweigh the not having three at a back and not having, because we don't have two brilliant centre backs that we know are going to start, right? There are lots of centre backs who are about the same. Problems, So one argument is play as many as you can, right? And one is play as few as you can because they're not as good as the players going forward. That's the risk-reward thing that Southgate has to deal with. But I just really think, I don't know, I thought that turn, right? There is a guy, you know when you see a player who's so confident and almost seems to grow in confidence during the game. And I am very positive about England and naively, right? If the last 40 years has taught me anything. And I think when when I'm watching social media at the same time, which is probably a mistake, I'm sort of, I dig my heels in to get more positive about England because I'm getting so frustrated. The pleasure that Grealish gave me yesterday, with that one moment when he flicks it over, I can't remember who it was he flicked it over, but it was good. It was just stunning, wasn't it? It was a stunning piece of skill. I'm trying to think of the last time an England player did a piece of skill like that. There is a touch of Gascoigne, a touch of Wilshere about him as well in the way he runs with the ball. Look, it was a joy. It was a joy.
I think that's the one. Technically, he's pretty good. He always wants the ball at his feet. He's not afraid to make a forward pass and it not be the right pass. And I think, as I say that's probably one of the biggest criticisms that people will say about him. The consistency of his final ball needs to improve if you're going to start comparing him to Gaza. But other than that, I love the way he plays. I love the way he wants the ball in tight situations. He's not afraid to have it in tight situations. He runs at defenders. He's got skills. And players foul him.
Yeah.
Whether you want to call him a diver, which a lot of people will do, he actually gets fouls for England in dangerous positions, for Villa in dangerous positions.
I mean,
and if England are going to play the way they are, he's going to be a big part of it, no matter what formation to play.
I mean, England fans can pretend to care about people going to ground easily, but only when they complain about Harry Kane occasionally doing it. Maybe chalking off that penalty that Owen won in 98. Alex says Villa fans have been shouting about him for years. It's insane. People are only seeing his talent now. His best position is Cam, 4-2-3-1 with Kane ahead of him. He's the most creative Premier League player. 08717 223344 is the phone number. I'd love to talk about the positivity of Jack Grealish. This text, what's best, Jack's calves or Roberto Carlos's thighs? I would say Xherdan Shaqiri's calves actually are a step up on Jack Grealish's. But if you, and there was a lot of criticism yesterday of Mason Mount being put wide right, and we don't know how fit Sancho was.
Well, he's put him everywhere, hasn't he? He's played him deep, he's played him wide right, he's played him on the left, he plays him everywhere.
But my question is this, if you play Grealish and Sterling, the balance that gives you is really exciting, because suddenly you do have the pace and the outlet of Sterling, who is also, we shouldn't forget, a phenomenally talented footballer. Kane can drop deep. It's not unlike...
But he's going to want Rashford as well. He loves Rashford.
He does.
So Sancho was the next best thing
so
not long ago, and now suddenly he's now going to be coming off the bench. It looks like he was always going to be a definite starter.
Let's talk to Stuart, who's a Villa fan. Hi, Stuart.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, very good, thanks. Look, fans love seeing their own doing well at international level. How did you enjoy watching Grealish last night?
Absolutely superb. Nothing we didn't expect, to be fair. The point I wanted to make really was, you know, I saw Grealish make his debut when he came on as just a little kid, really, with massive calves, and I've seen him grow as a Villa fan through the Championship years, really carried us through. I was slightly in a different camp where I thought he was pretty poor when he came back from lockdown, and I think he sort of admitted it himself that he wasn't fit enough. And I almost understood that first squad, Southgate not included him. But I think since then, I've always said to my mates and, you know, family, all Villa fans, you know, he needs to show the numbers. And I almost agreed with that. But I think he's got himself in a position where Southgate cannot refuse to play him. And we do have to build the team around him. I think 4-2-3-1's the best system. And I think he needs to be on the left, I think, personally. He likes to be a number 8. That's his favourite position, but I think he's probably a 10, but off the left. And I think him and Sterling, like you just said, would be fantastic with someone just behind Kane.
Thanks, Stuart. Dave's a Villa fan as well. Do you agree with that, Dave?
Yeah, pretty much. Just phoning in really now, just to call back on, I don't know, maybe 6-8 months ago. You did a phone in about this time on Maddison versus Grealish. Mm-hmm. I've phoned a few times singing Jack's praises, well, over the last 18 months, and I'm just glad now that you guys and everyone else is actually seeing what I've said all along, and many Villa fans does. Jack Grealish just offers something no one else does. Your Fodens, great players, Mount, great players, but come on, who's going to do that flick other than Grealish last night against Belgium? He just offers something that we need in the national team, that we need. Just play the lad, let everyone see what he can do, and just build around him, like the last caller said. And I think, like we're all coming round to see now, he's actually got a bit more than, you know, big calves and fancy hair. You know, he's got so much about him, and we need it. We need it in the national team, and I'm just glad we've seen it now.
Thanks, Dave.
Having the arrogance to do what he did, I think all of them could do it. I think Foden could do that.
And that part of the pitch as well, right?
Yeah, I think Foden could do it. I think Maddison could do it. I think Ali could do it. I think all those guys could do what he did, but the one who's got the arrogance and the confidence to pull it off is Grealish.
Robert says, so England have won 2 games out of 5 in the Nations League. All Talk Sport want to talk about is Jack Grealish.
No,
right.
listen
from the start, Robert. If you're going to listen for the whole show, if you're going to criticise, make sure you listen to all of it. This is Drive on Talk Sport with Toolstation. Tools and more for any task.
Drive on Talk Sport with Toolstation.